The way you spend your free hours tells the truth about your future. Most people say they don't have time, but that's not true. They have time, they just give it to the wrong things. They come home, turn on the TV, scroll their phone, and call it rest. But deep down, they're not resting. They're running from that quiet voice that says, you could do more. The real magic isn't in working all day. It's in what you do after the day is done. That's where part-time ambition lives. It's in those small, quiet hours when nobody's watching, the hours that decide whether you keep wishing or start winning. You don't need to quit your job or wait for motivation. You just need to start with what's in front of you. 1 hour a night, one small effort, one honest decision to use your time with purpose. That's how ordinary people build extraordinary lives, not by luck, not by talent, but by using the time most people waste. So before you say you're too busy, ask yourself, what if just a few hours could change everything? That's the magic of part-time ambition. Number 1, start proving to yourself that you still have control. There comes a point when a person gets tired of feeling like life is happening to them instead of because of them. It's that quiet moment when you wake up and realize you've been reacting instead of directing. Maybe it's been months, maybe years, where you've told yourself that things are just how they are. You've said, I'll get to it someday. You've watched time slip by, and a small voice inside you says, I used to have more drive than this. That's the moment you have to start proving to yourself that you still have control. Control isn't about controlling the world or people or circumstances. It's about controlling what you do next. It's about realizing you still have choices. You still have power. You still have time, even if it's only a few hours each day. But you have to decide that those hours matter. The truth is, the world doesn't take away your control. You hand it over, piece by piece, every time you give in to distraction, every time you make excuses, every time you talk yourself out of effort because you don't feel like it. The magic begins when you stop handing it away. When you look at your own life and say, this is on me now. That's the moment the mind wakes up. Suddenly, the excuses sound weaker. The complaints lose their weight. Because deep down you know something powerful. You are still the one who decides. When you start proving that to yourself, it doesn't come from some big grand decision. It starts small. Maybe it's when you get home from work, and instead of sinking into the couch, you open that notebook. You start writing the plan. You read the book that builds your mind instead of scrolling through noise. You work on the idea you said you didn't have time for. That's control. That's power. And it's available to anyone who wants it. Most people don't lose control because life knocks them down. They lose it because they stop practicing discipline. They stop demanding more from themselves. They start believing the story that this is all there is. But that story isn't true. The truth is, the smallest act of discipline begins to rebuild your self-respect. When you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, your confidence grows. And with every action, you start to remember that you're capable of steering your own life again. People spend years waiting for the right time. They say they'll start when things settle down. But life doesn't settle down. It only keeps moving. Waiting steals your control because it tricks you into thinking time will wait for you. It won't. The only way to regain control is to start right where you are, with what you have, and do something today. Not everything, just something. One action that proves you're serious. You have to understand something about yourself. Your mind needs evidence. You can't talk your way into belief. You have to show yourself proof. Every time you follow through, every time you keep that small promise to work on your goal, your brain starts to trust you again. And when you trust yourself, that's when real control returns. You don't need applause. You don't need approval. You need to know that when you say you'll do something, you will. That's the kind of control that changes lives. There will be resistance. Your emotions will try to pull you back into comfort. Your body will say, I'm tired. Your mind will whisper, it won't matter anyway. But you have to answer those voices with action. The only way to silence doubt is to move. Action makes fear shrink. Every time you choose progress over comfort, you train your mind to work for you, not against you. When I talk to people about ambition, I remind them that ambition is not about being the loudest, richest, or most talented person in the room. It's about being the most consistent. You don't need to do everything today, but you must do something. You have to show yourself that even after a long day, you still have enough energy left to invest in your future. And if you do that long enough, life starts to change. Part-time ambition is a powerful thing because it proves that you don't need a full-time opportunity to start creating a full-time result. You just need to use what's already in your hands. You might not have 10 hours a day, but you have 2. And if you give those 2 hours to growth, learning, building, improving, those hours add up. Time compounds when it's used with purpose. Some people think they've lost control because they made mistakes or because they've been stuck too long. But control isn't about being perfect. It's about deciding that your next decision matters more than your last one. You might have failed before, you might have quit before, but as long as you're breathing, you still have the power to begin again. The clock hasn't beaten you. You're just out of rhythm, and it's time to reset. Control is a daily thing. It's not a one-time decision. It's waking up and deciding again and again that you won't hand your power to laziness or fear or distraction. You take it back by acting. That's the price of control responsibility. The moment you stop blaming, you start growing. The moment you stop waiting, you start moving. And when you start moving, life starts to respond. You'll notice something beautiful when you begin this process. The world around you doesn't change overnight, but your energy does. You start walking differently. You speak with more confidence. You begin to like the person in the mirror again because you see someone trying. You see someone who refuses to stay stuck. That's real control, owning your effort, even if the results aren't there yet. When you start proving to yourself that you still have control, you stop begging for it from anyone else. You don't wait for permission. You don't need validation. You just work quietly, consistently, because you know that every small action is proof that you are taking charge again. And that kind of proof builds unstoppable momentum. There will be days you slip. You'll miss a task. You'll feel like nothing's changing. But remember, control isn't about perfection. It's about direction. If you're still moving forward, you're still in control. The most dangerous thing you can do is convince yourself that you're powerless. Once that belief settles in, you stop trying. And that's when dreams fade. So don't let that happen. Refuse to be powerless. You have to see yourself as the cause, not the effect. When something goes wrong, ask what you can learn. When you feel stuck, ask what you can change. That's how people with control think. They don't waste time hoping for luck. They create momentum through choices. And every person, no matter where they are, can choose something today that moves them closer to where they want to be. You may not control how you start, but you can control how you continue. You can control your attitude, your focus, your habits, your time. You can control what you feed your mind. You can control how you respond when things go wrong. That's where freedom begins, not with everything going right, but with you deciding to stay in charge when it doesn't. So start tonight. Prove to yourself that you can still lead your own life. Don't tell yourself you'll change. Show yourself. Open that laptop, make that plan, write that post, start that study, practice that skill. Do something that proves you're still steering your ship. You don't have to conquer the world. You just have to stop standing still. The greatest feeling in life isn't success, it's knowing you're capable again. It's knowing that your effort means something. It's realizing that no matter what happens, you still decide who you become. That's what control is. It's not a position. It's a choice repeated every single day. So, when you finish your day and everyone else is done, take that 1 hour and use it. That's your hour of control. That's your hour of proof. It's not about how far you get today. It's about reminding yourself that you can still move forward. Because once you start proving it to yourself, nothing and no one can take that control away from you again. Number 2, use your free hours to rebuild the respect you lost for yourself. There's a certain kind of pain that doesn't come from failure, rejection, or loss. It's quieter. It's the pain that comes from disappointing yourself. You know that feeling when you catch your own reflection and you realize you've been running on autopilot. When you remember all the promises you made to yourself but never kept. That's not because you don't care. It's because somewhere along the way, you stopped believing you could keep those promises. You stopped respecting your own word. And when that happens, your self-worth begins to slip piece by piece. And it starts in those free hours that most people waste. Every person gets pockets of time that aren't owned by anyone else. Those late evenings after work, those quiet early mornings before the day begins, those weekends where the hours just drift by. That's the time that shapes the kind of person you become. Most people fill those hours with distractions. They say they're tired, they need a break, they've had a long day, and that's fair. But when those small choices pile up, they begin to build a wall between who you are and who you want to be. If you want to feel proud of yourself again, those are the hours that matter most. Because in those hours, no one's watching. It's just you and your own honesty. When you start using your free hours for growth, something powerful happens. You begin to trust yourself again. You see, self-respect isn't built from what you say. You rebuild that respect by showing up when you don't feel like it. You read when you could be scrolling. You practice when no one's cheering. You work on your goals when no one else is awake. It's in those small, quiet moments that the foundation of your confidence returns. Most people don't realize how deeply their self-image is tied to their habits. Every time you choose what's easy over what's meaningful, your mind remembers. It keeps score. And every time you choose what's right over what's easy, your mind remembers that too. You start to form a new identity, not one based on talk or potential, but on evidence. The evidence that you follow through, that you can depend on yourself again, that your word means something, even if you're the only one who hears it. Rebuilding respect for yourself isn't about grand gestures or big changes. It's about quiet accountability. It's about looking at your free time and asking, what am I doing with this hour that proves I care about my own future? Most people think they need more motivation, but what they really need is self-trust. They need to see themselves follow through just once, because once you do it once, you start to believe you can do it again. And that's how you rebuild faith in yourself, through repetition, not inspiration. When you use your free hours for progress, and you're doing something most people never do, you're putting your time where your mouth is. It's easy to talk about dreams when you're surrounded by people who are doing the same. But it's hard to act on those dreams when you're alone and tired. That's where respect grows in the absence of applause. Because when you push yourself in silence, when you put effort into something only you can see, you start to feel something shift. You stop seeing yourself as someone who wishes and start seeing yourself as someone who does. There's no shortcut to this. You'll have nights when you don't want to work. You'll feel small progress that no one notices. You'll question whether it's worth it. But every time you push through, every time you give one more hour to your own development instead of wasting it, you're rewriting the way you see yourself. You're proving that you're not done yet, that there's still more inside you than you've been showing. And with every small act, you rebuild the image of yourself as someone capable, disciplined, and worthy of trust. Think about it. How many times have you broken a promise to yourself and shrugged it off? I'll start tomorrow. It's not that important. I'll try again next week. Each of those moments chips away at your respect because your mind keeps score. It knows when you're lying to yourself. That's why when you finally start following through, even in the smallest way, you feel that spark of pride. That's the moment you start earning your own respect again, not by talking big, but by doing what you said you'd do. And you don't need perfect conditions. You don't need the right mood, the right plan, or the right timing. You just need to start showing up. The act of showing up consistently, sincerely, is what rebuilds the relationship you have with yourself. You can't demand respect from the world if you won't first give it to yourself. And self-respect comes from personal proof. Every workout finished, every chapter read, every hour spent learning or building, it's all proof. It tells your brain, I keep my word, I do what I say. That's power. When you start using your free time this way, you'll notice subtle changes. You'll start walking differently. Your voice will sound steadier. You'll stop needing validation because you'll have your own approval. You'll start expecting more from yourself, not out of guilt, but because you know what you're capable of. You won't tolerate as many excuses, not from yourself, and not from anyone else. That's the reward of self-respect. It strengthens every part of your life. The hard truth is that most people give their free hours away. They don't realize they're trading their future for a few moments of escape. But the moment you start using that same time to build instead of distract, everything changes. You begin to see yourself as someone with direction again. Someone who doesn't just survive the day, but builds something with it. And once you feel that sense of direction, your energy rises, your focus sharpens, and your confidence starts to come back. You'll still have setbacks. You'll still fall short sometimes. But this time, it won't break you, because you'll know you have a method to rise again. You'll know that no matter what happens during the day, those free hours belong to you. They're your chance to rebuild, to make progress, to show up for yourself. When you use them well, you don't just get results, you get your self-respect back piece by piece. Think about how different your life would feel if you could look in the mirror and genuinely feel proud. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're honest with yourself again. You know you've been putting in the effort. You know you've earned your own trust. That's the kind of confidence that lasts. It's not built on appearance, money, or success. It's built on integrity, on doing what you said you'd do, even when it's hard. You rebuild self-respect the same way you lose it, one choice at a time. You don't have to do it all tonight. Just start with the next hour you get. Use it to move yourself forward. Read, plan, create, study, reflect, whatever helps you grow. Those actions may seem small, but they are powerful because they tell your mind that you're serious again, that you're back in charge, that your word means something again. And once you've earned back your own respect, everything else changes. You start expecting more from your days. You stop settling. You stop tolerating things that drain your time and spirit. Because now you see your free hours differently. They're not empty space anymore. They're your opportunity to rebuild what you once lost. Every minute used with purpose becomes a brick in the foundation of your self-worth. So use your free hours to work on yourself. Use them to prove that your future matters more than your comfort. Use them to rebuild what you once thought was gone. The person you want to be is still there, waiting for you to show up. And when you do, when you finally take those hours and turn them into proof, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Real pride. The kind that doesn't need to be seen or shared. The kind that quietly says, Number 3, stop expecting big change when you give small effort. People say they want change, but most don't mean it. They want the results without the weight of responsibility. They want transformation without effort. They want freedom without discipline. But life doesn't work that way. You can't expect big change while giving small effort. It's like wanting a stronger body while refusing to move it. Wanting more income while avoiding new skills. Wanting peace while holding on to chaos. Deep down, you already know it. The results you want will always match the level of effort you give. If you give small, you get small. If you give halfway, you live halfway. If you give everything, life starts opening up in ways you didn't think possible. Change demands honesty. It demands that you stop lying to yourself about what you're actually doing. Most people overestimate their effort. They say they're trying hard, but their actions don't show it. They start strong for a few days, then disappear for weeks. They say they're serious, but they stop when it gets uncomfortable. They talk about change more than they work for it, and then they wonder why nothing shifts. The truth is simple. You don't get big rewards from part-time commitment. You don't get transformation from convenience. You get it from consistent, focused, uncomfortable effort that stretches you beyond what feels easy. You can't trick life. You can't talk your way to growth. You can't wish your way into a new chapter. The universe responds to energy, not words. It responds to consistency, not intention. You can write down your goals all day, but if your actions don't back them up, they're just wishes. A plan without effort is only imagination. You want big change? Then give big effort. Not once in a while, not when you feel like it, every single day. Because every day you either build your future or you weaken it. There's no middle ground. You have to understand how cause and effect works in real life. Every decision compounds. Every hour you invest adds up. Every moment you waste sets you back. You can't see it at first, but it's happening quietly, in the background. When you give small effort, the change still happens. It's just in the wrong direction. You drift instead of grow. You lose instead of build. It's not that you stand still, it's that you slide backwards slowly, without realizing it. That's the danger of low effort. It keeps you stuck while convincing you that you're trying. The hardest truth most people avoid is that effort exposes your priorities. You always make time for what matters. If you say you want change but you don't act like it, what you're really saying is that you value comfort more than progress. You value being entertained more than being empowered. You value rest more than results. There's nothing wrong with comfort, but don't confuse it with growth. Comfort is what you feel when you stop moving. Growth is what you feel when you start stretching. You can't have both at the same time. When you commit to giving real effort, it's not glamorous. You won't feel motivated every day. You'll feel tired, bored, impatient. You'll want to quit. You'll doubt yourself. But that's exactly where change begins. In the moments when it would be easier to stop. The people who create big change in their lives are not the ones who always feel ready. They're the ones who work even when they don't. They show up on the bad day. They do the work when no one's watching. They take one more step, even when they can't see results yet. That's what separates progress from stagnation. Not talent, not luck, but effort that never goes silent. If you want your life to look different, you must start doing different things. There's no shortcut around that. You can't keep the same habits and expect new outcomes. You can't think the same way and expect to see progress. You can't do the minimum and expect the maximum. Every breakthrough comes with a price tag, and that price is effort. The size of your change will always match the size of your sacrifice. If you want small improvements, keep giving small energy. But if you want real transformation, prepare to give more than you have before. People often say, I just need more time. But it's rarely about time. It's about focus. You can have 24 hours and waste 23. You can have 1 hour and use it fully. Big change doesn't require all your time. It requires your best time. When you give your energy to distractions, you starve your dreams. When you give your energy to your goals, you feed your growth. Every time you choose to work instead of delay, you build evidence that you're serious. Every hour spent with intention is a down payment on your future. You can't expect the world to give you what you haven't earned. Respect, success, freedom, they come from proof, not promises. People respect results, and results respect effort. If you give a little, life gives a little. If you give more, life opens up. You have to decide how much you want to experience. That decision will show up in your behavior, and your behavior will decide your destiny. Big change is not magic. It's math. It's small effort, multiplied by time, multiplied by consistency, multiplied by patience. Most people give small effort for short periods and expect huge outcome. They say, I've been doing this for 2 weeks and nothing's happening. 2 weeks? You've been building habits for years that brought you here. Change takes longer than comfort wants to allow. It takes months, sometimes years of work. That's why most people never experience big transformation. Not because they can't, but because they quit before their effort compounds. You have to make peace with long effort. You have to understand that consistency eats intensity. It's not about working nonstop for a week. It's about working steadily for months. Real change happens when effort becomes a lifestyle, not a phase. When you stop measuring your effort by how much it hurts and start measuring it by how much it helps, that's when the shift happens. You owe it to yourself to stop pretending that half effort will bring full results. You can't keep saying I'm trying if your actions prove otherwise. Either you're committed or you're not. Trying is temporary. Commitment is continuous. If you want to see what your potential really looks like, you have to stop negotiating with your excuses. You have to stop being impressed by minimal effort. You have to demand more from yourself because you know you're capable of more. Look at the people you admire. They didn't get there by luck. They earned it through relentless effort. They worked when no one was clapping. They stayed focused when no one noticed. They pushed through failure after failure. They didn't expect results that didn't match their effort. That's why their success looks big.
because their effort was bigger than most people are willing to give. You can do the same, but you have to stop thinking effort is optional. It's not. It's the price of change. Every time you give small effort, you tell yourself that your dreams don't deserve more. Every time you cut corners, you train yourself to accept average. But deep down you want more than average. You want to be proud of your life, proud of your progress, proud of who you're becoming. That pride won't come from talking about change. It will come from the work you put in when no one's around. So stop expecting life to give you something you haven't earned. Stop waiting for luck, for timing, for a break. You are the break. You are the variable. You are the reason things change or stay the same. When you start giving full effort, life starts matching your energy. Opportunities appear. People notice. Momentum builds. And soon you'll look back and realize that the distance between who you were and who you are now wasn't created by chance. It was built by effort. If you want big change, give big effort. No more halfway. No more wishing. No more waiting. Give so much that you can't go back to who you were before. Because when your effort finally matches your vision, that's when everything starts to shift. That's when change stops being an idea and becomes your new reality.
Number 4, turn your frustration into action before it becomes regret. There are moments when you can feel it building inside you, that quiet frustration that doesn't come from other people, but from yourself. It's that heavy awareness that you could be doing more, that you should have started sooner, that there's something in you waiting to be used. It's not anger at the world, it's disappointment that you've been holding yourself back. That feeling isn't your enemy. It's a signal. It's your mind trying to get your attention. The question is, what do you do with it? Because if you don't turn that frustration into action, it will eventually turn into regret. And regret weighs more than frustration ever will. Frustration is proof that you care. People who don't care don't feel it. They're comfortable being stuck. But if you feel restless, if you feel unsatisfied, that's a sign that something inside you refuses to settle. You might not have the answers yet, but the energy you feel, that fire in your chest when you think about what could have been, that's the starting point. You can either let it fade, or you can use it as fuel. The worst mistake you can make is to sit in your frustration and do nothing. That's how dreams die. Not from failure, but from inaction. The truth is, frustration can be the most powerful force for change if you handle it right. It's energy, and energy always wants to move. When you use it to complain, you drain it. When you use it to act, you transform it. Every major change begins with a moment of discomfort. People don't change when they're content. They change when they've had enough of their own excuses. When the pain of staying the same becomes heavier than the fear of trying, that's when they finally move. But you don't have to wait for that level of pain. You can decide that your frustration is reason enough to begin. Maybe you're frustrated with your job, your health, your relationships, or your lack of progress. Whatever it is, stop pretending it doesn't bother you. Stop covering it up with distractions. Sit with it long enough to see what it's really trying to tell you. That tension you feel isn't punishment. It's direction. It's pointing you toward the areas of your life that need your attention. When something feels off, it's because you're meant to adjust. That's the purpose of frustration, to push you to change. But if you ignore it, it hardens into resentment. And once resentment sets in, it starts poisoning everything around you. Action is the only cure. Not talking, not wishing, not complaining. Action. Even the smallest step can start to release the pressure. You don't have to fix everything overnight. Just pick one thing and move on it. Make the call. Write the plan. Change the habit. Do the thing you've been putting off. The moment you act, your energy shifts. The same emotion that once made you feel trapped starts working for you instead of against you. You start to see progress, and progress brings peace. The reason most people never get past their frustration is because they confuse it with failure. They think feeling stuck means they're weak. It doesn't. It means you're awake. It means your potential is louder than your excuses. The problem isn't the frustration, it's how you respond to it. If you let it sit, it turns into guilt. If you act on it,
it becomes growth. You can either use it to build or use it to blame. The choice is yours. You can't control every outcome, but you can always control your effort. That's where freedom starts. When you stop overthinking and start moving, things begin to shift. You'll never think your way out of frustration. You have to act your way out. Every bit of progress, no matter how small, begins to heal the disappointment that created it. And with every action, your confidence grows. Because deep down, what you're really craving isn't perfection. It's proof that you're capable of change. If you do nothing, frustration becomes regret. Regret doesn't just live in your mind. It lives in your heart. It shows up in quiet moments. When you see someone doing what you could have done, when you realize time moved faster than you did. Regret has a way of making you replay moments that are gone forever. And once it sets in, you can't bargain with it. That's why acting now matters so much. You can always improve what you start, but you can't go back and start what you never began. You have to remind yourself that frustration isn't a sign to quit. It's a signal to change direction. It's the push that says, enough waiting. Every person who has built something great started from that exact place. That moment where they couldn't stand how things were anymore. They didn't wait for perfect timing. They took imperfect action. They didn't let fear decide for them. They let frustration become fuel for movement. That's how growth works. You take the emotion that feels heavy and you turn it into momentum. There will always be reasons to wait. You'll tell yourself you're not ready, that it's too late, that you don't know how. But deep down, you already know what needs to happen. The longer you delay, the louder the frustration gets. Eventually, it will demand your attention, and by then it might be too late to do something about it. Action now is how you protect your future self from regret later. You don't want to wake up one day and realize that you had all the energy, all the chances, and all the time, but you used none of it. If you've been holding back, ask yourself why. What are you afraid of losing? The truth is, inaction costs more than effort ever will. Fear wastes more time than failure. Waiting drains more energy than working. And regret takes more peace than frustration ever could. If you're scared of failing, understand this. Frustration from trying and falling short is temporary. Regret from never trying is permanent. One teaches you, the other haunts you. You don't need to have everything figured out before you start. You just need to start. The first action might feel small, but it's the beginning of momentum, and momentum is what transforms emotions into out. When you start moving, your focus shifts from why to how. You stop drowning in thoughts and start building new patterns. That's how frustration loses its power, through movement. Don't wait for motivation to show up. Motivation is unreliable. Action is what creates it. Once you take that first step, energy follows. Once you start seeing progress, excitement grows. Before you know it, the same frustration that used to feel like pressure begins to feel like purpose. It reminds you that you're capable of steering your own life again. Think about what's really at stake if you don't move. Not just the opportunities you'll miss, but the person you could have become. The version of you that never gave up, never stayed silent, never accepted less than you could give. That version is still possible, but only if you start now. Don't let frustration turn into a story you tell later about what you almost did. Let it be the moment where everything shifted, where you decided to stop being stuck and start doing something about it. You deserve to feel proud when you look back. You deserve the peace that comes from knowing you tried. You deserve to know you gave your best while you could, and you won't get that from waiting, thinking, or complaining. You'll get it from doing, because in the end, it's not frustration that breaks people, it's regret. Frustration is a sign you're alive. Regret is proof you ignored it. So while you still can, turn that emotion into effort. Use that energy to build, move, and grow. Do something with it before it turns into what you wish you'd done. The clock is always moving, whether you act or not. The question isn't whether you'll feel something, it's what you'll feel. Frustration now or regret later. One fuels your progress, the other steals your peace. The choice is still in your hands, and it always will be, but only for a while. Take that weight you feel and use it as a signal. It's not there to punish you, it's there to wake you up. Because the moment you turn frustration into action, everything begins to change. Number 5.
Use your evenings to become the person you talk about. Evenings reveal more about who you are than any other part of the day. During the day, you do what you must. You go to work, handle your responsibilities, meet expectations, answer to others. But the evening, those quiet hours after the world slows down, those belong to you. What you choose to do with that time says everything about the person you are becoming. Too many people spend their evenings talking about who they want to be instead of using that time to build that person. You can talk about goals, success, change, or freedom all you want. But if your evenings don't reflect those ambitions, then your words are just noise. The real transformation begins when your actions start speaking louder than your intentions. You know the version of yourself you talk about, the one with more discipline, more confidence, more freedom, more success, the one who finally did what you said you would. That version isn't out of reach. It's not waiting for some perfect opportunity or a lucky break. It's waiting for you to show up in the hours you usually wait. You don't need to quit your job or move cities to change your life. You just need to reclaim your evenings, because those few hours after the day ends hold the potential to completely rewrite your story if you use them right. When you come home tired, you face a quiet choice. You can rest your body and lose your momentum, or you can rest your excuses and build your future. It's not about working nonstop. It's about replacing mindless comfort with meaningful effort. Most people hand their evenings over to distraction. They say they're unwinding, but really they're escaping the guilt of another day without progress. You don't need to fill every night with work, but you do need to make it count. Spend time on something that moves you forward, a skill, a habit, a project, or a goal. That's how you close the gap between who you are and who you say you'll be. Evenings are honest. There's no boss watching, no deadlines pressing, no crowd to impress. It's just you and your decisions. That's why they matter so much. When no one is holding you accountable, your choices reveal your standards. If you spend those hours chasing ease, your life will drift toward average. If you spend them creating, learning, and improving, you'll rise above what you've been settling for. Every great transformation starts in the quiet hours when no one is watching. That's where discipline is born. The person you talk about becoming isn't built in bursts of motivation. That person is built in consistency. Every night you choose growth over distraction. You add another brick to that version of yourself. You don't have to do everything in one evening. You just need to do something that proves you're serious. 10 pages of reading, 1 page of writing, 1 hour of study. A small effort every night compounds faster than you think. 1 month becomes progress. 3 months becomes change. And a year becomes transformation. The difference between people who dream and people who grow is what they do when the day ends. You might think you don't have time, but that's rarely true. You have the same number of hours as everyone else. What matters is how you treat them. The evening hours are not small. They're the foundation for everything big. You can waste them trying to escape the day, or you can use them to design a better one. Every time you say, "I don't feel like it," remind yourself that comfort is temporary, but pride lasts. The satisfaction you feel from one night of effort is far greater than the emptiness that comes from another night lost to distraction. There's something powerful about working quietly in the evening. The world feels still. The noise fades. It's just you and the task in front of you. That stillness is where clarity grows. It's where you think better, plan better, and create better. It's where your real self shows up. The one that doesn't need an audience. The one that's willing to do the work. Those hours teach you self-respect because no one else can give it to you. It's earned through discipline. It's built through consistency. You'll start to feel a new sense of pride every time you choose progress instead of postponement. You have to understand something important. No one will build your dream for you. No one will hand you more hours. No one will push you to improve when you're tired. That's your job. You have to be the one who looks at the clock and says, "My day isn't done until I've done something for me." That mindset changes everything. It shifts you from surviving to creating, from existing to progressing. Once you start thinking that way, your evenings stop being leftovers. They become your secret weapon. Every skill you wish you had can be built in the evening. Every idea you keep putting off
can be developed in the evening. Every habit you want to master can begin in the evening. The key is to stop underestimating what small, consistent effort can do. The reason most people never change is not because they don't have enough time. It's because they keep waiting for a big moment instead of making use of the small one. The evening is your small moment, and it repeats every day. That's an opportunity most people ignore. If you feel stuck, start by reclaiming just 1 hour tonight. Turn off the noise, shut down the distractions, and give that hour to yourself. Study, write, build, learn, reflect. Whatever moves you closer to your goals. Don't wait for motivation. It's created through action. Once you see yourself making progress, your energy changes. You stop feeling like life is controlling you and start realizing you're the one in charge. You'll go to bed with satisfaction instead of guilt, knowing you did something that mattered. Some nights you'll be tired. Some nights you'll want to quit. That's part of it. But if you only work when you feel good, you'll never build anything last. The person you talk about becoming doesn't need perfect conditions. They need consistent decisions. Every time you show up despite fatigue, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your mood. That kind of self-trust is rare. And once you have it, no one can take it from you. Imagine where you could be 6 months from now if you stopped wasting your evenings. Imagine what skills you could learn, what shape your body could be in, what kind of peace you could feel if you just used those hours with purpose. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to stop giving away the most powerful part of your day. You owe it to yourself to live in alignment with your potential, not your distractions. One day, you'll meet the person you always talked about being. The question is whether you'll recognize them because you became them, or regret not trying sooner. Your evenings are your chance to bridge that gap. They're your chance to stop talking and start becoming. You have enough time. You have enough ability. What you need is to take yourself seriously enough to act. So tonight, when the day ends and everyone else unwinds, choose differently. Sit down and work on yourself. Do the thing you said you'd do. Build the skill. Study the topic. Plan the move. Write the page. Start the journey. You don't need to announce it. You don't need approval. You just need to begin. Because the person you talk about isn't built by words. They're built by what you do when no one's watching. When it's quiet, and when it's just you deciding whether you'll waste another night or finally use. Your evenings are not empty. They're full of possibility. It's time to prove that you're ready to become the person you've been describing all along.
Number 6. Stop saying you're tired when you haven't tried yet. So many people start their day already defeated. They wake up tired, speak tired, move tired, and go through life, convincing themselves that exhaustion is the reason they can't move forward. But most of the time, it's not real fatigue that holds them back. It's resistance. It's mental, not physical. They haven't earned the right to call it tired because they haven't even tried yet. There's a big difference between being tired from effort and being drained from avoiding it. One builds strength, the other builds regret. The truth is, when you stop mistaking hesitation for exhaustion, you discover how much power you actually have left inside you. When you tell yourself you're tired before you've started, what you're really saying is, I don't believe it's worth the effort. You're not tired of the task, you're tired of starting over. You're tired of thinking about it, tired of imagining change but not acting on it. That kind of fatigue is emotional. It comes from being stuck in indecision. The cure isn't more rest, it's more movement. Because movement creates energy. The moment you begin, your body and mind wake up. You start to feel alive again. Not because the task is easy, but because effort gives you meaning. Real tiredness comes after a full day of doing something that matters. The kind of tired that makes you proud, not guilt. It's the exhaustion that comes from growth, from giving your best, from moving towards something worthwhile. Most people never experience that kind of tiredness because they quit before they reach it. They mistake discomfort for depletion. They tell themselves they're done when they've barely begun. That mindset kills potential faster than failure ever could. You have to learn to challenge the voice that says, I don't have the energy. Ask yourself, have I even tried yet?
If the answer is no, then you're not tired. You're untested. You haven't pushed far enough to know what you're capable of. Your body is built to adapt. It grows stronger through use, not avoidance. The more you do, the more capacity you build. That's how people with discipline seem to have endless energy. It's not that they start with more. It's that they keep training their mind and body to go further. Energy rewards movement, not excuses. There's a strange comfort in claiming fatigue. It gives you permission to stay where you are. It allows you to justify inaction. You tell yourself you'll do it later when you feel better, when you have more energy. But that day never comes. Because energy doesn't wait for you. It's created by you. The more you postpone, the heavier everything feels. You don't need more sleep, you need more purpose. You don't need a longer break. You need a reason strong enough to move. When you say you're tired but you haven't tried, you cheat yourself out of discovery. You never find out how far you could have gone. You never feel the rush of accomplishment that comes from pushing past resistance. You never experience the strength you were capable of developing. Life rewards effort, not intention. Nothing changes until you do something. The world doesn't care how you feel. It responds to what you do. You could be tired and still try. You could be scared and still move. You could be uncertain and still progress. The problem isn't the feeling, it's the choice to surrender to it. Every time you stop before starting, you reinforce weakness. You teach yourself that your emotions control you, instead of the other way around. You start believing that feeling tired means you can't move forward. But the moment you act anyway, you prove to yourself that emotions are temporary and effort is permanent. The act of beginning rewires your state of mind. You go from being a victim of fatigue to a creator of energy. Think about the days when you actually worked hard, really hard. You might have started with low energy, but once you got moving, something shifted. The momentum carried you. You ended the day feeling proud, alive, clear. That wasn't an accident. That's the power of action. The first step is the hardest because it breaks the lie your brain tells you, that rest will fix what only effort can. You're not supposed to feel ready all the time. No one does. But discipline isn't about feeling ready. It's about doing what's necessary, regardless of the feeling. When you replace the habit of complaining with the habit of starting, you build something stronger than motivation. You build mental endurance. That's what separates progress from procrastination. It's not that some people have more willpower. It's that they've stopped believing the lie of early exhaustion. They know the difference between rest that restores and rest that robs. If you haven't tried, you haven't earned the right to say you're tired. Try first, then see how you feel. Most of the time you'll realize the tiredness was never real. It was resistance in disguise. Your body wasn't drained. Your mind was doubtful. But once you take that first step, you start to feel alive again. That's because effort and energy are connected. You can't have one without the other. There's a simple truth about growth. It always costs energy before it gives it back. The first push is uncomfortable. The first habit feels forced. But if you stick with it, the return is massive. You build strength. You build confidence. You build momentum. And momentum becomes the fuel that keeps you going when you would have otherwise quit. That's how people achieve extraordinary results. They stop letting temporary feelings dictate permanent outcomes. You can rest after you've earned it. Rest should be recovery, not escape. When you've given your best, rest feels different. It's satisfying. It restores you because it follows effort. But rest without effort doesn't heal. It dulls you. It becomes avoidance disguised as self-care. You don't need to rest from trying. You need to rest from wasting time. When you know you've done something meaningful with your day, even exhaustion feels good. Stop waiting for energy to appear before you move. Start moving, and energy will appear. It's always been that way. Motion creates motivation. Progress creates passion. The hardest part is the start. And once you push through that wall, the resistance fades. You realize that you weren't tired. You were just stuck in a pattern of comfort. You were feeding a story instead of your purpose. The most successful people aren't the ones who never feel tired. They're the ones who learned that feelings don't decide their limits. They do. You have more strength in you than you've been using. You have more energy than you think. The problem is, you've been saving it for later, and later keeps moving further away. The only way to unlock it is to use it. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Just stop giving in to false fatigue. When you feel like saying I'm too tired, do something small instead. Read one page. Take one step. Start one task. Action breaks the illusion. You'll be surprised by how quickly your body and mind adjust. Once you begin, the moment you act, you shift from powerless to purposeful. You have one life. And every day you waste telling yourself you're tired, when you haven't tried, is another day you'll wish you had back. You can either feed your weakness or feed your will. The difference is effort. The human body and mind are built for work, for creation, for progress. The real exhaustion doesn't come from trying. It comes from knowing you did. So the next time you hear that voice in your head saying you're too tired, stop and ask, have I earned the right to feel that way? If you haven't, get up. Start something. Even a small step is enough to prove that the voice was lying. Because when you move, you'll realize something powerful. You were never tired. You were just waiting for a reason to try. And that reason has been inside you all along.
Number 7. Build your side dream until your fear starts to shrink. There's something powerful about a dream that refuses to leave your mind. It stays there quietly, even when you try to ignore it. You think about it during your commute, while sitting at your desk, when you're lying awake at night. It's that idea you keep postponing, because fear keeps reminding you of everything that could go wrong. But fear only wins when you stand still. The way you take its power away is by moving. You don't need to destroy fear before you start. You just need to start small and build your side dream until your fear begins to shrink. Fear doesn't disappear on its own. It grows in silence. Every day you delay, it gets louder. Every excuse you repeat, it gets stronger. You can't talk your way out of fear. You can only act your way through it. People spend years waiting for courage, thinking it's something you feel before you act. But courage doesn't come before action. It comes after. You have to move first. You have to take that uncertain, shaky, uncomfortable first step and keep walking until fear loses its grip on you. Your side dream is the safest place to start. It's not your main income yet, not your full-time focus, but it's the part of your life where you can experiment, create, and grow without losing stability. That's what makes it so powerful. It's your training ground. It's where you learn to take risks without letting your entire world collapse if it doesn't work. The purpose of building a side dream isn't just to make extra money or get recognition. It's to build belief, because belief doesn't grow from thinking. It grows from doing. When you start putting small pieces of effort into your dream, something changes inside you. The fear that once looked huge starts to lose shape. It begins to fade because now you're not just imagining what could go wrong. You're experiencing what can go right. Fear feeds on imagination, but action starves it. Each time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that it's possible. And the more you prove it, the less fear has to say. You don't have to quit your job or make some dramatic announcement. Just use what you already have. Use your free hours, use your weekends, use your lunch breaks if you must. The important part isn't how fast you move. It's that you move. When you keep showing up for your side dream consistently, it starts showing up for you. You'll feel a quiet shift in your energy. You'll wake up with purpose again. You'll go through your day knowing you're working on something that belongs to you, not just something that belongs to someone else. Fear always sounds convincing. It tells you you're not ready, not skilled enough, not connected enough. It whispers that failure would embarrass you, but those are lies built on inaction. You can't argue with fear by thinking. You can only prove it wrong by acting. Every piece of effort you invest in your dream builds evidence against fear's voice. Each hour spent creating, learning, improving, or building adds another reason why you should keep going. One day you'll look back and realize that the thing that scared you most is now part of your comfort zone. The side dream is your way of reclaiming control. It's your chance to build something that isn't dictated by your employer, your environment, or the opinions of others. It's a declaration that your future will be shaped by more than survival. It will be shaped by vision, and that vision doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be alive. The fear of imperfection keeps more people stuck than failure ever does. You don't need everything figured out. You just need enough courage to start where you are and learn as you go. Some people think fear disappears with success. It doesn't. It only changes form. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck isn't that one group has no fear. It's that one group acts anyway.
You can be afraid and still make progress. You can doubt yourself and still produce results. You can feel unready and still begin. The fear doesn't need to go away before you start. It needs to shrink as you build. Every late night you spend working on your idea, every new skill you learn, every obstacle you figure out makes you stronger. The version of you who started will not be the same person 6 months from now. You'll carry new confidence because you earned it. You'll have proof of progress, not just hope for it. And that proof will quiet the fear that used to control your decisions. That's how personal transformation happens. Not through big leaps, but through steady proof that you're capable of more than fear wanted you to believe. It's easy to underestimate what you can build part-time. You might think your dream is too small to matter or too far to reach. But every great thing started as someone's side dream. Every business, every project, every movement began with a person who worked on it after hours, slowly building it until it could stand on its own. What makes it grow isn't luck. It's persistence. The same time you spend scrolling, complaining, or doubting could be used to move your dream forward. It's not about having time. It's about deciding that it matters enough to make time. Fear often hides behind logic. It tells you to wait for the right conditions. It tells you you're being realistic, but that's not realism. It's hesitation wearing a mask. The right conditions will never come. There will always be something uncertain, something risky, something uncomfortable. The people who build their dreams are the ones who stop waiting for perfect and start using what they have. They understand that momentum is more powerful than perfection. You don't have to shout your dream to the world. You don't need validation or permission. Just build quietly. Let your work speak before your words do. Every hour spent creating adds a layer of confidence that no motivational talk can give you. The moment you see progress, fear begins to lose its voice. It doesn't disappear overnight, but it gets smaller, weaker, and easier to ignore. Eventually, it becomes background noise. You'll hear it, but it won't stop you. When you start giving your energy to your side dream, you'll notice a shift in your mindset. You'll stop seeing time as something you spend and start seeing it as something you invest. You'll stop saying, "I wish," and start saying, "I'm working on it." And that one change in language, from wishing to working, will change how you feel about yourself. You'll start to see yourself as capable, disciplined, and in control of your future. That's what building your dream does. It rebuilds your self-belief. Fear will still visit you. It will still whisper before every new step. But as you keep building, it won't feel as heavy. You'll have results to remind you that you can handle it. You'll have progress to remind you that the risk is worth it. You'll realize that fear is just a sign that you're stepping outside comfort. And that's exactly where growth happens. The goal isn't to eliminate fear. It's to outgrow it. And you do that by building every single day, even when no one sees it. So keep your day job if you need to. Handle your responsibilities, but don't let them consume every part of you. Save time and energy for your dream. Protect it, work on it, grow it. Because if you don't, fear will use that same time to convince you that it's too late. And it's never too late. It's only late when you stop trying. Keep building until you no longer measure your life by what scares you, but by what you've created. Keep showing up until your confidence is louder than your doubt. Keep moving until fear becomes a memory. That's the beauty of consistent effort. It transforms everything, including your relationship with fear. You'll wake up one day realizing that what once felt impossible now feels normal, because you built your dream long enough for your fear to shrink. And in doing that, you didn't just build something outside of you. You rebuilt the strongest part of yourself. Number 8, let your quiet work speak louder than your complaints. Complaints are easy. They roll off the tongue with no effort at all. They make us feel like we're doing something about our problems, when in truth, we're just repeating them. It's a habit that feels productive but changes nothing. The truth is, nothing gets better through talk alone. If you want to see change, you have to let your quiet work speak louder than your complaints. Because the world doesn't listen to what you say you'll do. It responds to what you consistently do, even when no one is watching. We live in a time where everyone wants to be heard. People broadcast their frustrations, their plans, their opinions, hoping that saying it loud enough will make it real. But real progress doesn't come from volume. It comes from effort. You don't build credibility by talking.
You build it by showing results. Complaining may get you sympathy, but it won't earn you respect. The respect you want, the growth you need, the life you're after, they all come when your work begins to speak for you. Quiet work is powerful because it's honest. When you work in silence, there's no audience to perform for, no approval to chase. It's just you and the task in front of you. That's where authenticity lives. In the moments no one sees. In the effort no one praises. That's the kind of work that changes your character, sharpens your skill, and builds your reputation. You don't need to announce your goals or prove your pain. You just need to put your head down and do the work that moves you forward. Every time you complain, you give away a piece of your energy. You drain the power that could have been used to build, fix, or create. Complaints feel like release, but they actually take away your focus. They make you dwell on problems instead of solutions. You can't build something great while your mind is busy listing what's wrong. Energy follows attention, and if your attention is on what's broken, you'll stay surrounded by brokenness. The shift happens when you redirect that energy into quiet, focused action. The people who make real progress don't always look busy. They're not shouting about their struggles or trying to convince anyone that they're working hard. They're just doing it. They understand that time spent complaining could be time spent improving. While others talk about obstacles, they're finding ways through them. While others wait for the perfect conditions, they're learning how to make things work as they are. Quiet progress doesn't need validation. It finds satisfaction in motion, not recognition. The temptation to complain usually comes from frustration. You feel like you've done enough, like the effort isn't paying off, like no one notices what you're doing. But here's the truth. The work always notices. The results will always show up. They might not come when you expect them, but complaining only delays them because it steals consistency. Every minute you spend expressing disappointment could be a minute spent creating momentum. Progress doesn't care how you feel. It rewards those who act. You don't have to tell people what you're working on. You don't have to defend your choices. You don't have to explain your struggles. Just keep working. Let your improvement do the talking. Let your results be your evidence. People might doubt you now, but when your work starts speaking, they'll have no choice but to listen. That's the beauty of quiet progress. It doesn't argue, it proves. Complaints might make you feel connected to others who share your frustrations, but that connection is hollow. It keeps you stuck in the same place, with the same stories. Growth separates you from that crowd. Quiet work changes your circle. It draws you toward others who are building, learning, and improving. You begin to see that silence isn't weakness. It's discipline. It's strength under control. When you stop wasting breath on what's wrong, you have more space to build what's right. You don't need to defend your pace. You don't need to justify your method. The results will do that for you. When you stay consistent, when you show up even when it's hard, when you refuse to let setbacks turn into excuses, you're building something much bigger than progress. You're building credibility. And credibility is what gives your work power. You can't buy it or fake it. You earn it through patience and proof. Think about the people you admire most. The ones who inspire you aren't the ones who talk about how hard things are. They're the ones who faced difficulty and kept moving. They turned their complaints into creation. They let their work tell their story. That's what makes their journey believable. People trust action because action doesn't lie. Words can be twisted, promises can be broken, but results stand firm. You don't have to say much when your work speaks clearly. There's a quiet satisfaction that comes from putting your head down and producing something meaningful. You end your day tired but fulfilled. You don't need to post about it or seek applause because the effort itself becomes your reward. You start to respect yourself more, not because people notice you, but because you notice yourself changing. That's what quiet work does. It builds inner confidence that no compliment can replace. When you stop complaining, you start listening. You start hearing your own thoughts clearly. You start seeing opportunities that constant negativity used to hide. Complaints cloud your vision, but discipline clears it.
You begin to realize how much time you used to waste on words that didn't move you forward. Now that energy goes into progress, and progress feels better than any temporary relief that complaining ever gave you. Your quiet work doesn't need an audience. It only needs consistency. It doesn't need praise, it needs persistence. Keep showing up when no one asks you to. Keep improving even when it feels like no one cares. Because one day, that same silence you're working in now will turn into noise. Results that others can't ignore. That's when people start asking how you did it. When they start saying you're lucky. But you'll know it wasn't luck. It was quiet work done over time. It's easy to be loud about problems and quiet about progress. But that's backward. The ones who truly grow understand the value of reverse energy. Quiet about pain. Loud in results. You don't need to suppress emotion, but you do need to channel it. Every frustration, every obstacle, every doubt can become a reason to work harder. Instead of complain louder. Turn irritation into fuel. Let anger become action. Let effort replace explanation. There's something almost unshakable about a person who doesn't rely on words to prove themselves. They walk differently. They carry calm confidence. Because they know their effort is stacking in the background. They don't rush to convince anyone of their worth. They let their results handle that. That's real power. When you reach that level, no criticism shakes you. No doubt slows you and no complaint leaves your mouth because you know progress speaks a language louder than noise. Every minute you talk about what's wrong could be a minute spent fixing it. Every breath wasted complaining could be a breath used planning. You already have everything you need to begin. The question is, will you spend your energy on noise or on building something that lasts? Because one of those fades the moment you stop talking, and the other keeps growing long after the words end. Quiet work doesn't seek attention. It attracts it. When people start seeing results, they'll listen. But by then you won't need to talk anymore. You'll be too busy building the next version of yourself. So trade complaints for commitment. Trade noise for progress. Trade frustration for focus, because in the end, the loudest thing you'll ever say is the life you build in silence. Let your quiet work do the talking, and let it say something that can't be ignored.
Number 9. Stop waiting for approval and earn your own respect. One of the greatest traps people fall into is the need for approval. It starts early. You want to please your parents, your teachers, your friends. You want to be told you're doing well, that you're good enough, that you matter. That desire doesn't disappear as you grow older. It just changes form. It becomes the craving for validation from coworkers, bosses, or strangers on the internet. You begin to measure your worth by how many people agree with you, like you, or notice you. And without realizing it, you hand your self-respect to everyone but yourself. The problem is, when you depend on approval, you lose control over your confidence. You let other people decide how you feel about your own effort. It's time to stop waiting for that. It's time to earn your own respect. Approval feels good, but it's temporary. It fades as soon as it's given. You get a compliment, you feel a spark, but it doesn't last because deep down you know it didn't come from within. You know you haven't built anything solid yet. True confidence isn't loud, and it doesn't come from other people's opinions. It's quiet, steady, and personal. It comes from the moments when you keep promises to yourself, when you show up even when it's inconvenient, when you do what's right without being told. That's the kind of respect that can't be taken away because it was earned, not handed out. You don't need permission to become the person you want to be. You don't need a round of applause to start doing better. Every time you wait for approval, you're delaying progress. You don't have to convince anyone to believe in you. You just have to start giving yourself reasons to believe. The more you rely on outside validation, the weaker your inner voice becomes. But the moment you start building proof for yourself, that voice grows louder, stronger, and calm. It begins to say, "I've got this," instead of "I hope they notice." People spend too much time asking others what they think, and too little time asking themselves what they want. You don't need everyone to understand your vision. Most won't. And that's okay. Approval seeking keeps you small because it forces you to fit into what others are comfortable with. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Growth happens when you step into uncertainty, make your own decisions,
and take responsibility for the outcome. You'll make mistakes. Yes, but those mistakes will teach you far more than someone else's opinion ever could. You have to start doing things that make you proud, not popular. The truth is, no one's approval will ever fill the emptiness left by self-neglect. You could get praise from everyone around you and still feel lost if you know you're not living up to your own standards. The respect that matters most is the one you give yourself when no one is watching. It's when you go to bed knowing you kept your word, stayed disciplined, and didn't betray your goals for comfort. That kind of respect doesn't need applause. It just needs honesty. Waiting for others to validate you is exhausting. It keeps you chasing after people who are too busy with their own insecurities to truly notice your effort. Some won't support you because your growth reminds them of what they've neglected in themselves. Others will praise you only when it benefits them. If you base your self-worth on that kind of feedback, you'll always be at their mercy. But if you build it yourself, no one can touch it. You won't need to prove anything because your results will speak for you. Self-respect begins the moment you start keeping promises to yourself. It's not about big dramatic changes. It's about consistency. You said you'd wake up earlier. Do it. You said you'd study, work out, save, or create. Follow through. Every small action becomes evidence that you can trust yourself. When you have that trust, you stop needing approval because you already know where you stand. You stop chasing people's opinions because you're too busy keeping your own word. It's a powerful feeling to know that your sense of worth isn't in someone else's hands. You walk different. You stop over-explaining. You stop shrinking yourself to be liked. You stop waiting for others to tell you what's possible. You decide that your effort is enough. Your focus is enough. Your purpose is enough. Approval becomes irrelevant when your integrity is intact. If you're constantly seeking validation, it's because there's a gap between who you are and who you know you could be. You don't need more praise. You need more proof. Approval might feel like encouragement, but it's not a substitute for effort. When you start doing the work, when you start seeing small wins that come from your own discipline, you'll feel a shift. You'll no longer need to ask anyone how you're doing because you'll know the results will tell you, the peace will tell you, the self-trust will tell you. You can't control how people see you, but you can control how you see yourself. If you're honest, that's what really matters. The reason you care so much about approval is because deep down, you've stopped giving yourself enough reasons to respect your own effort. You've let convenience replace commitment. You've lowered your standards to avoid discomfort. But respect doesn't live in comfort. It's earned in those moments when you push through fatigue. Stay disciplined when it's easier to quit, and keep moving when no one claps for you. Start measuring success by how much effort you give, not by how many people notice. The right people will respect you more for your consistency than your performance, and those who don't, they're not your audience anyway. You don't need the world to agree with your path. You need to walk it with confidence. Approval fades, but self-respect grows stronger with time. It multiplies with every honest effort you make. There's freedom in not needing to prove anything. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop begging for recognition. You don't need to broadcast your progress. You don't need to argue your worth. Just do the work. Keep building. Keep learning. Keep improving. The satisfaction that comes from private victory is deeper than any public praise. You start to feel a quiet power that no one can give or take away. That's what real independence feels like. When your self-worth is no longer rented out to others' opinion. You might lose some people along the way. That's normal. The moment you stop chasing approval, you stop being predictable. Some won't know how to handle that, but that's their problem, not yours. Growth has a cost. It requires you to let go of the need to be liked by everyone. You're not here to please. You're here to grow. Approval is a reward for comfort. Respect is the result of growth. Choose the one that lasts. Start building a record of personal wins that no one else can take credit for. Keep track of your progress. Notice when you improve, when you keep a promise, when you resist an old habit. Celebrate those things quietly. That's how you teach your mind to associate pride with effort instead of validation. Over time, you'll realize you no longer crave approval because you already have something stronger. Your own respect. Respect yourself enough to stop asking for permission. Respect yourself enough to outgrow the need to be seen. Respect yourself enough to do the work that aligns with your values, even when no one acknowledges it. Approval might make you feel good for a moment, but self-respect makes you feel strong for a lifetime. You don't need to wait for anyone to recognize you. You don't need to wait for support to start moving. The moment you decide to take yourself seriously, you already have all the approval you need. Let your actions speak for you. Let your consistency define you. Let your discipline become your reputation. Stop waiting for the world to clap. Earn your own respect, and you'll never need their applause again.
Number 10. Prove to yourself that part-time effort can change everything. You don't need a perfect plan, a massive team, or full-time freedom to start changing your life. You just need proof. Proof that part-time effort, when done with consistency and focus, can change everything. Too many people wait for the right season, the perfect job, the free schedule, the big breakthrough. They think change requires all their time. It doesn't. It requires their best time. The truth is, most people waste the hours that could transform their lives because they underestimate what small, steady effort can do. You don't have to give every minute to your dream. You just have to give it your best minutes every day. The difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck isn't opportunity. It's consistency. It's not about how much time they have. It's about what they do with the time they have. One person uses their evenings to scroll and complain. Another uses them to study, build, and prepare. After a year, their results are worlds apart. Not because one was smarter or luckier, but because one decided that even part-time effort mattered. It's not about hours. It's about intention. When your effort has purpose, even an hour a day can rewrite your future. There's a dangerous lie that says, it's not worth starting if you can't go all in. That lie keeps people stuck forever. You don't need to quit your job to build something meaningful. You don't need to have all the time in the world to make progress. You just need to use the time that most people throw away. Those small pockets of effort, the hour after work, the quiet morning before the day starts, the weekend blocks you usually waste. Those are the hours that decide your direction. You can either feed your distractions or feed your dream. Both take time. Only one pays you back. When you start putting part-time effort into something that matters, you begin to build momentum. At first, it feels slow. You might question whether it's even worth it. But every small step counts. You're teaching your mind discipline, your body routine, and your spirit patience. That combination builds power. Change doesn't show up all at once. It shows up quietly through habits that stack on top of each other. Every day you put in the effort, you're shaping a version of yourself that's stronger than the day before. The reason most people never experience transformation is because they underestimate compound effort. They want big results fast, but real change doesn't work like that. Growth happens in layers. Every time you show up, even for a short while, you're adding another layer of progress. You can't see it immediately, but it's building underneath. Then one day it all comes together, and people call it overnight success. But it wasn't overnight. It was months or years of part-time consistency. That's how part-time effort changes everything. It compounds quietly until it becomes visible. Think about how much time you've already spent on things that don't matter. Every hour spent worrying, every evening spent distracted, every weekend spent saying maybe next time. Added up, it's a lot. If you had spent even half that time building something for yourself, you'd already be living differently. That's the power of part-time ambition. It turns wasted time into winning time. It proves that what you do with a few hours can matter more than what others do with whole days. Part-time effort teaches you focus. When you have limited hours, you learn to use them wisely. You cut out noise. You stop wasting time on tasks that don't move you forward. You learn to make progress without perfection. And that skill stays with you for life. It builds confidence because you know you can create results, even with limited resources. Once you've proven that to yourself, there's no going back to excuses. You'll realize that the problem was never lack of time. It was lack of direction. You might feel small at first. You might feel like your efforts don't matter because no one can see them. But that's how every big change begins. Small, unnoticed, almost invisible. What matters isn't who sees your work. It's that you keep doing it. Quiet progress becomes loud results when you stay consistent. The project grows, your skills sharpen, your mindset strengthens. Eventually, the things that once felt impossible start to feel normal.
That's when you know the part-time effort has started transforming you. There's power in earning results when no one expects you to. It builds a kind of pride that no external reward can match. You start feeling grateful for the process because you realize the process made you tougher, smarter, and more resilient. That 1 hour a day builds more than a dream. It builds character. You stop chasing motivation because you've built discipline. You stop waiting for inspiration because progress itself becomes inspiring. Don't underestimate the emotional change that comes with part-time effort. When you start making progress, even slowly, your confidence grows. You start walking differently. You stop apologizing for dreaming. You stop envying others because you're too busy improving yourself. That shift in identity is the real victory. Once you believe you can change something small, you start believing you can change something big. You stop feeling powerless and start realizing you've been in control all along. There will be days when the effort feels pointless, days when results seem distant. But that's when you remind yourself that small doesn't mean insignificant. It just means early. Keep building through that phase. Most people quit right before their work begins to show. Stay long enough for the effort to pay off. You don't have to sprint. You just have to keep moving. Progress doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. The truth is, life rarely gives you big chunks of free time. If you wait for the perfect schedule, you'll wait forever. The people who create real change do it while busy, while tired, while juggling responsibilities. They use part-time effort until it becomes full-time reward. They don't ask for easier conditions. They become stronger within the ones they have. And that strength comes from the small choices you make every day, not the big breaks you hope for. When you work consistently on something outside your main job, you start to build freedom. You gain new skills. You open new opportunities. You create new options. Even if it doesn't pay off immediately, it changes your mindset. It shows you that your job doesn't define you. Your effort does. You begin to see time differently, not as something that controls you, but as something you control. That's the kind of realization that changes the course of a life. Part-time effort is about proving commitment to yourself. It's about saying, I will not let my circumstances decide my potential. It's about doing enough today to earn momentum tomorrow. You don't need 10 hours. You just need to stop wasting the 2 that could make a difference. Every minute you invest compounds into progress that no one can take from you. If you stick with it, people will start to notice. They'll ask how you managed to do it all, but you'll know the truth. You didn't do it all. You just did a little bit every day. You didn't wait for time. You created time. You didn't wait for courage. You built it through action. You didn't wait for change. You worked for it in the hours others ignore. That's what separates dreamers from doers. The ability to prove that part-time effort can move mountains when done with consistency and heart. The best part is, once you've proven it to yourself, no one can convince you otherwise. You'll know you can build something from nothing. You'll know that discipline works. You'll know that time, even in small doses, is enough to create something meaningful. That's the kind of proof that changes how you live forever. So start tonight. 1 hour, 1 small task, 1 quiet promise kept. Do it again tomorrow. Do it again the next. Before long, those small moments will become your legacy. You'll look back and realize that part-time effort wasn't just enough. It was everything, because it taught you the most important lesson of all. Big change doesn't require all your time, just all your heart.